in a declaration of MINBC that the conviction from a business perspective, UNCAC holds the potential to become the global framework for combating corruption, which will pave the way for the founding of a level playing field for all market participants, especially at the country level. Towards its vision to achieve a sustainable and responsible investment in the Mindanao community, the MINBC embraced the convention as the global instrument that will certainly bring consistency and standardization of anti-corruption rules and practices across the country. The MINBC has taken a position that the implementation of the convention, especially within the context of the Mindanao community, will help induce compliance efforts between government and the market players, and thus create a culture and environment that will enable business to play its critical role, both in the aspects of economic and ecological governance, that will redound to a more improved quality of life of the Mindanao constituency. Integrity, as defined by Stanford Encyclopedia, is the adherence to moral and ethical principles. It is also attributed to various parts or aspects of a person's life. In the context of business, integrity is a significant element on 3 levels. First, integrity in oneself. When we were thinking of companies that we would showcase to this group, we were not thinking of companies that have already given integrity as a measure. We want, as an example, we want to show companies that have shown integrity and as an example of what it has become because of their adherence to integrity. We laud the clear-cut policy on zero bribery practice of the Tampakan Copper and Gold Project in southern Mindanao of the Sagittarius Mines Incorporated. The project is faithfully following legitimate processes until they can secure their license to operate. It has taken them several years now. They could have explored unconventional possibilities for trimming processes, but they opted to do things with integrity. It is also noteworthy to mention that they have decided to pay their taxes in their area of operation instead of in Metro Manila like so many others. Why do I mention this company? It is supposedly one of the biggest projects in the Philippines, a copper-gold project that would employ 16,000 people. It would add 1% to our GDP. It has a investment potential of $1 billion, an investment income potential of much, much more. What is holding them down? A local ordinance that says no to open pit mining. When asked, and they cannot get their ECC because of this local ordinance. Even with the EO 26 on mining saying that the national rules have preponderance over local rules, they still cannot get their ECC. So when asked or kidded, why not just make a contribution to their favorite charities or make something happen? They adhere and they say no, that is the policy of the company, no bribery, we will go through the process and we will sink or swim by this process. So the Mindanao Business Council, as we are mandated to, as we are thinking that they should be lauded, not only lauded, but helped and set as an example of integrity, we call on also not only the business sector, but government to identify this, see that their processes have been in accordance with law and help them. Second, integrity within the community. A lot of us in Mindanao know the late Datu Toto Paglas. He established a banana plantation using up-to-date technology and infrastructure and producing globally competitive bananas, but operating under a different cultural setting. Those who came to learn of their business in Maguindanao seemed to be surprised why and how it is performing relatively well in a previously conflict-ridden area in central Mindanao. We salute La Frutera Inc. as a trailblazer in corporate agriculture in conflict areas. The integrity here, as defined, is courage. Courage to go into a situation where most of us will not even venture. And what is it that they require? Like all others, peace and order for Mindanao is their #1 requirement. That the Mindanao Business Council has always been in the forefront of saying that there should be a clear commitment, a clear policy towards peace and order in Mindanao. And so that more of these firms can help by going to these conflict-ridden areas and providing jobs. Datu Toto Paglas will forever mark his integrity among his beloved community when he uttered, "I believe that real peace is in education and livelihood. If people are not educated, then the only pride they have is to own and use a gun. If the people are hungry, they cannot think properly. They fight for their family. So I converted our land into a plantation. I hired the members of the family that killed my father and my brothers. Now I can walk without fear. I am at peace." That is integrity. That is courage. I don't know how many other people are willing to do the same thing, but we need more. Another example, actually, of this agriculture companies that have entered into conflict areas are banana plantations. There's a palm oil plantation by C.K. Chang, almost 35,000 hectares planted. Beneficiaries are small farmers funded by the Land Bank of the Philippines with a marketing agreement. These companies are slowly creating that background of interdependence so that these people, the rebels, have a job, they have a way to go, they have a business, and therefore, if they have something to eat, they do not fight anymore. So we laud them, we applaud them, and we would like to show them as examples of integrity. Finally, integrity in public policy. It is unfortunate that there are cases when business becomes victims to abuses in public policy implementation. A construction company, Company X, bent on operating his business, faithful to the requirements of public bidding process. On several projects he bidded, several times he refused to give what we call SOPs to win the bid. Several times he said no, he never got any project. Finally, he succumbed to the ill practice just so he can secure a project, and as he did, he refused to give SOP also to those from the mountains, and they burnt his trucks. These things affected his returns, and eventually he was put out of business. Company X does not exist anymore. So does a lot of others unheard of companies that could not survive because they were committed to integrity practices. I hope not to dampen your spirits, no? Na if you follow this straight road, itong daan na tuwid, that it is going to hurt and impact your business. You think, syempre, how will I feed my family? That is important. But what is important? Our call is not only for business to practice the principles of integrity. We call for a stronger support to cure the corrupt public systems from the past and work well within the present administration's framework of Daang Matuwid. We see a flow of movement towards integrity, a bayon bago sarili commitment that can only bear fruit if government will help by leveling this playing field. In closing, let me quote the great Confucius. To put the world right in order, we must first put the nation in order. To put the nation in order, we must first put the family in order. To put the family in order, we must first cultivate our personal life. We must first set our hearts right. Daghang salamat sa inyong tanan.
Thank you very much. I think we will have time for about 2 questions before we proceed to our next speaker. The first question is addressed to Director General De Lima, you have the distinction of serving 4 presidents. The question is, how would you compare the 4 presidents in terms of sincerity